Hello and welcome. This is Melsgunner, and we're back with some more Wargame Red Dragon. It is the start of our second turn, and it is now time to counterattack our opponent. In the last turn, our opponent's turn, they attacked us in this region here. We were able to defeat them and drive them out of the region, so we can see they are now retreating over here. Because we have driven them out, this region is no longer being contested, so it is solid blue, as opposed to these two regions, which are currently contested, as we have both enemy and friendly units in there. So you see there's the blue and red slashes across the zone to indicate that it is contested. With that being said, as I mentioned, we can go on the attack, and how we do that is we click on one of the regions we want to attack. So if we want to attack here, we would click this button, and that would initiate the attack. But before we do that, we're going to want to deploy our units to the regions, and then we'll do the attack. So we may want to redeploy, for example, our air assets, which are currently in Busan. We also have more political power points. We got the 15 that we get every turn added on, so now we can deploy some more units. So we have to decide, do we want to do an attack? We don't have to, but if we do, we have to decide where that's going to be and what units we'll need. So because this is no longer contested, we could divert some of our units from this region. So we have the logistics convoy. We could send over here or over here, either one. We already have one logistics company over here, though, so I think more than likely, you're going to send that logistics company over here. We also have the heavy armor, which we could send, but keep in mind, it only has 2 initiative points, so it could not attack, it could only defend. So more than likely, if we do move this, it's not going to be part of this planned attack that I'm going to do. And once we do the planned attack, well, that would be the only attack I could do in that region, so if I click this now, I wouldn't get another opportunity to attack there, but I could still move units in there. So let's see, what else we have? The infantry regiment, I think we probably want to keep here just so that we can defend this region. There's no enemy presence here that I think threatens us. Well, technically this battalion could attack us. It is a battalion strength unit, so it does have a command vehicle. So this unit could come in and attack us. It's an engineer battalion, so it does have infantry. So it does definitely have the capacity to attack us. We have our own engineer battalion here as well. So I might keep these two guys here to kind of defend this region. And I'll probably just R&R so that we can regain the cohesion. So this unit doesn't have a lot of cohesion. Probably want to improve that. Our morale is pretty good for some of our units as well in this region. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and grab this guy. We're going to hit R&R, which is going to give him 2 cohesion, bringing him up to 3, which is pretty good. Now, from what we saw there, that consumed 2 initiative points. So that might be something we're able to do in some of these other regions where we know we're going to want to fight. I'm not positive if it necessarily works that way. I don't know if you can R&R and fight. So that's one thing I'm not 100% clear on. Now here, we get 2 cohesion, but we only have a maximum of 1, so we'd only have 1 cohesion after doing so. These 2 units, I think we could freely deploy elsewhere. This unit doesn't have cohesion, but we could still take advantage of the forward operating base and what have you. Okay, where else do we want to move things? Well, let's take a look at what we can deploy before we make any solid determinations here. So we have an anti-air company. That might be very good for us to use in this region. We know that there are planes in the region. If we were to attack, they would be involved in the defense, so they would be there. So it might be nice to have these guys involved. That would cost us 10, and we'd have 5 left over. We could get an artillery company as well. So this might be a good zone to attack in. We've got an anti-tank company. We've got a armored regiment versus their armored regiment. Now, another good place to attack would be here as well, because they have no air power deployed here. They would be defenseless as far as the air goes, and as far as I am able to ascertain, they do not have any anti-air vehicles. So they do have a artillery company, which does have support vehicles, but if we take a look here, they are only artillery. They would not give them any defenses. Now, the infantry here may have some capability if we could get that to go here. So these guys, that's a ground attack. That's a ground attack. There we go. So the Strela 2 missiles are going to be surface-to-air missiles, so that would be able to attack our planes. So they do have infantry. It's only a single platoon, but they do have infantry that could defend against our air. So we might lose some air power, but still might be a good idea to send some air power this way. So we're probably going to want air here to counter all these tanks. And probably try and knock these guys out of the air because we really don't want them to be able to hit our tanks. And then air power over here to attack their tanks and their infantry. As a result, that means that our F5s, which have napalm bombs, probably going to be more useful against the infantry over here. This unit has no infantry. It does have recon, but infantry is going to be more over here with this infantry battalion. So I think we're going to put these guys over in this region. So that's where we're going to send them. And then our F-16s, we've already decided, at least I've decided, that we're going to put them over here to try and thwart the air power that's here. Okay, our F-86s, these are going to be armed with rockets. I think those would be best used against the infantry over here and the artillery. So those are softer targets that our rockets could be pretty effective against. So I'm going to go ahead, send them over there. Then we have our F4s. The F4s are going to be armed with anti-tank missiles. Now, honestly, I could use these either place. There's a tank battalion here. There's a tank regiment here. These, I think, are a little bit more dangerous, though. So I'm going to go ahead and put the F4s up here. So we've already determined where our air power is going to go this turn. We could still move them around a little bit. Now for our... I don't know if I want to make that decision just yet. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get the anti-air. Let's see what we've got for the anti-air. So we have some infantry, which is going to be armed with some surface-to-air missiles. And we have a couple vehicles. So we've got the Hawk here, which has the Hawk missiles. They are not all that accurate, 50%, but fairly long range, especially against the airplanes, which we would be facing against. And then we also have a radar-guided anti-air cannon-armed vehicle. Okay, so pretty good capability here. So let's go ahead and deploy this guy into Busan. He's going to have 3 points, so that's going to be enough to use. And then, do we want artillery? If we were going to get artillery, I'd use it against these guys, because again, softer targets against the... I don't know if I really want to deploy these guys, to be totally honest with you, though. Because of the tanks, I'm afraid the artillery would be overrun and destroyed. So I think we're going to save up for next turn. We're going to get 15 points. 5 plus 15 is 20. That would give us this attack helicopter company, which I think would be very good to use against these tanks. If we are unable to break them this turn, we could use them next turn to try and help us out, as they are going to, if we take a look at them. So we have two different versions. This one here is just armed with rockets, which isn't going to give us much ability or any ability to defeat armor. The cannon can defeat armor, but not very much. This is the important one, though, here. We've got 4 attack helicopters armed with TOW anti-tank missiles, which have an AP power of 20, and we know by looking at the enemy tanks, this would pierce any of their tanks easily. So we also have some scout helicopters as well. So I would like to grab these guys to help break up one of these tank regiments if we get the opportunity. We're going to have to take a look at that a little bit later. All right, Air Force-wise, we do have the F4s with the bombs still available, but again, that costs us 15. We've already spent 10. I'm going to go ahead and put this anti-air company where we know we're going to want to have it. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this logistics company. We already thought that we were going to move that. And then the tank, I think we're just going to have it sit put for right now because it can't get involved in either of these attacks anyway. Okay, so now we have to decide, do we want to do the attacks? This is the big determiner of what are we going to do with this unit as well? We could get them involved in an attack. They do have some attack helicopters themselves here. These ones would be the ones we'd really want to use against tanks here. So we have 6 of these. Now they're only armed with TOW anti-tank missiles, so it is a light helicopter. We also get quite a bit of infantry as well. We've got 4 platoons of infantry. They are in helicopters. We don't have any infantry support in here, so that might be good. They do have some anti-tank missiles. Logistics-wise, though, we don't get anything there. Recon. Okay, recon unit appears to be about the same as the normal infantry. We only have a single platoon of that. So I still like the idea of keeping these guys in reserve for now, though. So let's go ahead and R&R them. Let's see what happens when we R&R these guys. So now we have spent 2 points. Can I still move here? Oh, I could move and attack. So do we want to gain cohesion with any of our units that are over here? I mean, I'm assuming I could still move these guys because they still have enough points to involve themselves. The thing is, I don't actually need cohesion in any of these units. The only unit that would need cohesion is this guy, but that would consume 2 initiative. He wouldn't be able to attack. So if we were to attack here, R&R would actually make it so this guy couldn't attack. So that might mean that we don't want to attack this turn with this unit if we want to get that cohesion. So if I did that, I wouldn't want to move the helicopters in just yet. But they're ready to go if we wanted to fight with them. I think we'll do this attack first. We'll see how this one goes, as I think I have everything that I would want in this particular attack. We've got recon, we've got logistics company, we've got our air power in, we've got anti-tank, we've got infantry, we've got tanks. So we'll be able to, I think, combat most of what they have in here. So let's see how we do. Their tanks are going to be the thing that's going to give us the most trouble, but we do have anti-tank vehicles, quite a few as a matter of fact. Hopefully we can fight them off. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is going to be this region here, and that's what we're going to click on. So as I said, this is not going to end our turn. We're going to be able to do things after this. So let's see what our forces are like. So our cohesion is 4, so we get 4 per second. They only have 3, so that's 3 per second for them, so we have an advantage there. We get more points to start with, again, because of the cohesion difference. So that is, again, in our advantage. Our total forces are 3,620. Our morale is at 3, so we've got 30%. They have 3,540, so we have a slight edge there. They have a higher morale, though, at 4, so 40%. So our destruction points, we need 1,416, quite a bit higher than our 1,086. So we're going to have to be careful of losses. All right, taking a look at things, we only have 2 command vehicles. They only have 2, so we're going to have to be very careful with our command vehicles and how we deploy them. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and launch this battle up and see how we do. Okay, so deployment zones are going to be pretty important. I think we're going to want to hold this guy down because it's so close to where they're going to be deploying. And we do have a nice urban area here that infantry can well defend. Delta, I think, is going to be too hard to hold down, so we're not going to worry about holding that down. We'll probably get our other command vehicle in this region, because, again, that's fairly close to the front. So we probably will want that. Now, the problem is where our air comes in. It's coming in at an angle that's kind of weird for us. To be totally honest with you, I don't know if we want to hold down this deployment zone because of the weird angle of the air deploy. It's coming in this way, so the enemy might not get struck by it where we're coming off the map. So these two might actually be the better zones to control. Now we know they don't have any, well, very limited anti-air defenses, so I don't know if it's that much of a worry, but I'd still have to, I think, consider it. So for right now, we have 1 command vehicle. Let's see where our other one is. Now, I haven't looked at our forces too much here. So we have a command tank, and we have this guy here. Now, the command tank's probably going to be really expensive, comparatively. I don't know how much this guy costs. We'd actually have to delete him to find out how much he costs. We're going to spend on him anyway. So, all right, so this is going to be the one that we hold down. This will be fairly easy to defend. We've got a lot of buildings here, so I think this is going to be easy for us to defend. Let's go ahead and stick this command vehicle back in here in these woods. That's going to be hard for the enemy to find and be able to pin down. Now, this forward operating base, I'm just going to go ahead and delete because we're not going to want to put that there anyway. I don't believe we have artillery. No, we don't. So there's no reason to have a forward operating base in the back there, in my opinion anyway. All right, so our other command vehicle, I think I'm going to go ahead and put in this region here. Now, this is a tank. It is armored. It does have weapons. So not very good weapons. The AP power is only 8, depending on our enemy. Now, I know that the enemy has cheap tanks, and they might not be very well armored anyway. So we still might want to put this tank in a place that it's going to be hard for the enemy to get to, because we don't really want them to be able to knock it out easily. So I think we're going to try and hold this sector down. I'll go ahead and stick that guy back there. Now, we do know that we have an advantage as far as our opponent goes and our deployment. So let's stick with infantry first. Let's see what we've got. So we've got anti-air. We've got a single platoon of that. We've got a normal infantry. We've got a little over 3 platoons, not quite 4. And then we've got our anti-tank units, which we have 2 of. So I more than likely am going to want to stick those guys somewhat close to the front here. So I think we're going to stick 1 platoon here. That's going to cover this bridge. And then we're going to stick another platoon here or here. I'd say maybe here. And then we'll cover that bridge with them. So that's our 2 platoons deployed. We would not have any defenses over here. Maybe we'd only want to have 1 deployed. So 1 anti-tank squad here and another one somewhere over here. I think that's what we're going to go with because we don't know which area they're going to attack. So we'll get a full platoon here. We're going to stick them in this area. Or we stick them here. A little bit more off the road. You know what? I think that's the better plan. We'll put them a little bit more off the road, and we'll put our normal infantry in here, close to the road. So the reason being, we want to make sure that their range is close, and that would be the way that we would do it. Oh, I misread that. Actually, it is 3 platoons. I was looking at the cost of the unit, not how many there were. Okay. Let's grab our last anti-tank platoon. This is going to be a little bit of harder deployment because this is going to block line of sight right here. We would have it briefly here, though. So if we put these guys here, we might be able to attack here and here. So I think that's where we're going to put them for now. Maybe a vulnerable position. We'll just have to see. Now, we know they have no air assets, so having anti-air would be pointless. So let's not worry about that too much. Okay, now our infantry platoon. We're going to put 1 here. That's going to put it fairly close to... okay, so it's going to be a little bit tricky putting those in because of the vehicles can't be inside the building. So that's why initially it said no to that. Okay, so we'll put 1 there, and I might put another platoon in this building here to protect and advance from this road here. We do have to consider that they do have infantry themselves, so we have to be able to defend their infantry with ours. Okay, so I think that's going to be good enough for our infantry. Now we have to start thinking about their tanks and their tanks' ability to do a lot of damage to us. So what we have to fight them is we have tanks ourselves. Now we already know our armor's pretty bad, but we do have decent AP power. Now these guys are nice and cheap. We have 16 of them, so that's 4 platoons. That's quite a few. We have the vehicles. We have 16 of these guys. They have AP power of 8, which is not great necessarily, but might be enough to defeat their armor. We also have these TOW anti-tank missiles. These are going to be our most powerful weapon that we have to deploy, and they will be fairly long-ranged. So we might be able to stick them back fairly far and still get some good destruction on the enemy. I don't have really a good place to stick them. We could stick them in here, but they would be vulnerable to an attack, in my opinion. We want to make this a bottleneck. I think the better option is to use tanks to try and defend this bottleneck here. So maybe a platoon of these guys, which are our higher value tanks, and then we use another platoon of our cheaper tanks to support. What are our options here? So we've got... Those are 40. These guys are 10. So these are really cheap. All right. Well, let's take a look at our recon options as well. So these guys are 45. We have 4 of them. And this is infantry. No, actually, no, it's not. It's a Jeep. So that is going to be pretty limited options for recon, but we have some. Where their vision ability is about the same. Optics is the same. So in this case, we might want to use... We use this guy to help out here. All right. This is going to be a little bit of a tough decision, but I think we are going to go with a platoon of these tanks. We'll put them further out. Let's put them here. And then we'll do another platoon of the cheaper tanks. Okay, so that's going to cover this area pretty well. So their path along this road. So they've got this road, they've got this road, and they've got these two roads here. And that's going to be their only way to attack us, as far as I can tell. Yeah, there's no other way for them to attack us unless they have amphibious, which we've seen that they do. They may be able to skirt around here, but I could put some limited defense here with infantry. I mean, we have enough points. Our infantry's not that expensive. So... Oh, I've already deployed all the infantry we have. Never mind about that. Okay, so do we want to put more tanks and things somewhere? Couldn't hurt. We have 350 points left to go. And again, we have these anti-tank vehicles. Okay. I don't know what kind of terrain this is. Let's find out. Okay, it's not going to tell me. Okay. Well, we could go a little bit more hardcore with our defense over here. And we could go with these guys, because we have a fair number, and they're pretty cheap. Oops. Okay. A single platoon. Okay, so we've got 2 tank platoons, and we've got an anti-tank unit. I do want a recon vehicle here, and we'll go ahead and stick them right about there. So these guys are going to shift around a little bit, but okay, pretty good defenses there. All right, now we're going to want... I still think we should go with some more anti-tank units over here. I just don't have a lot of cover of anywhere to put them, so whatever we put would be vulnerable to the enemy. Do we go with our cheap tanks here? Or do we go with some anti-tank vehicles? I still feel like we should defend over here just because there is a chance that they would go across this road and then just take this road up here and go that way. And we might not actually be able to knock them out here. But before I do anything, I do want to deploy my logistics. So we've got a forward operating base, and we're going to stick that in a place where it's going to be able to resupply my infantry. So that should be close enough to resupply all of this infantry here. I'm going to have to make a decision with our other forward operating base, and I think I'm going to put it in the woods here, because this is going to be most of our anti-tank capability over here. We could put a logistics vehicle over here, so that would be one of these cargo trucks. Oh, do we have another command vehicle? Oh, we do. Oh, no, that's already been deployed. It's just not. These guys have to unload. Okay, so this is a special command vehicle type where the infantry is the command. So do we actually want to put that there? I think we put it in a building instead. So we're going to put this here. We're on offload and put them in this building. Okay, let's go ahead and grab one of these trucks. So it only costs us 15, and we'll stick that in behind the anti-tank unit. So right there. Okay, so as I said, I'm a little bit worried about them doing a flank over here. So why don't we set up some units? I don't have infantry. I would prefer infantry to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and grab these cheap tanks. So I'll have a platoon of them. And, you know, the best way to stop that kind of attack, I think we put them right... I really just don't have cover anywhere, do I? We could put them in here and then put them up in the woods here. Or I could just leave them on the other side of the bridge. We'll put them there for now. So that's going to expend all our points. We're more or less ready to go. We've got our forward operating bases set up. I think we're good to go. This is going to be a tough fight nonetheless, though. They have limited ways to attack us, but it's still going to be dangerous. So let's go ahead and launch this battle. But before we do that, we're going to go to bullet time, so I have an opportunity to offload my infantry. There's a little bit of a delay, unfortunately, before the battle actually starts here on bullet time. There we go. We're going to go ahead and do that. Hit unload, hoping that that did what I wanted it to. Okay, unload, unload, unload. A little difficult sometimes to tell exactly. Go ahead and make sure that these guys are deployed in a more intelligent fashion, perhaps. Okay, come over here, and we're going to hit the unload key here as well. And then you over here have not deployed yet, so you're going to be unloaded. And then we're going to take your infantry and we're going to deploy them later. Okay, we're going to grab this guy. And we're going to have him, I'm going to have him just come across the road and stick here. Okay. So here comes the enemy, or there's the enemy there. Let's grab our vehicles. We don't want them to get blown up, so I'm going to send them over here. In these woods. Give them an element of cover. And same thing with these vehicles here. We could use them to support our infantry by putting them in here, these woods. They could possibly get knocked out, but they would have a little bit of cover. Looks like the enemy's concentrating attack over here, so we're going to have to be ready for that. Okay, we have this zone now taken care of. I'm going to go ahead and have them go in the building, though. So there'll be a slight moment where we won't have that command because we are moving somebody. Okay. How are we looking over here? Okay, I don't know if those orders came in or not. All right, well, I might as well just speed up here a little bit. So we're going to go to slow. Right now, the enemy's just kind of sticking where they are, but we'll hang on for the meantime. I'm going to want, as soon as it gets available, I'm going to want one of our attack craft here so that we can start doing casualties to them as they advance on us. We may actually want one of the F5s to try and lock down the bridge, but I think we're going to go with the rocket craft here. Hopefully they come in time. Okay, these are amphibious. I didn't know that. That's cool. Okay, so it looks like the advance is coming along here. I may want to redeploy my tanks here to try and help out. I'm going to send one platoon of tanks over here. Okay, we almost have enough for our first saber. Big infantry push here. Hey, come on, give it to me. There we go. What I want? Ah. Okay. Go ahead and launch this out. We're going to go after the command vehicle. See if we can knock that out. Okay, here we go. They're going after my forward operating base. Okay, big damage there. Okay, let's have these guys stop so they can get most accurate fire. Okay. We do have some anti-tank missiles coming in on us. That might give us some casualties here. Okay. That sucks, but it is what it is. If we want to do casualties to these guys, we're going to have to take some. More anti... Let's back off now. That's enough anti-tank missiles at us. As a matter of fact, we might lose this guy now. Okay, we got another ability to get one of these guys. Go ahead and hit this guy. Okay. So we lost 3 of our tanks. That's not necessarily good, but... Let's go ahead and grab. So here comes our... we might have lost sight. Let's go ahead and hit somebody else then. Oh, we lost one of our planes. That's not good. So they did use their anti-air defenses, I'm guessing. Let's see if we can get another saber soon. We are doing good damage here. Let's grab our cheaper tanks here. See if we can help out with this defense. I'm going to go ahead and just go all in on this one. See if we can help with this defense. So you guys are just going to come up here and attack here. We've got another F-86 that we can come in with. Let's go after their anti-tank guys here. Okay. Good damage there. Okay, so far we haven't lost any of our infantry. We almost have our tanks in range. We're going to eat some anti-tank missiles. But hopefully our guns will do their thing. Our tanks are going to come in here and try and help us out. We're going to go over here. Okay, our infantry will be able to fight this pretty well. Our tanks are doing pretty well as well. Okay, we've got our F-86s in. Go after this infantry. We're going to try and help out here. Unfortunately, we did lose some of our anti-tank units. Okay, here come our rockets. Let's get some more. We almost have enough for the napalm. Let's grab that. Okay. We'll go ahead and drop this. We're going to do a point of aim here, though. So we'll drop that right there. So this is going to drop on the infantry. Okay. That should land right on target. Okay, there it goes. Put them up. We need to have our tanks attack now. Go ahead and have these guys come in. Okay, so far we're doing pretty good casualties here. We've only taken a little bit of infantry casualties in the tanks that we've lost. Okay, here come our rocket attack. A few good casualties there. Okay, our tanks are getting attacked here. Let's go ahead and try and defend by coming in and attacking ourselves. Okay, let's get another rocket barrage in here. So it's mostly against vehicles that we're attacking here. Okay, good stuff. Here comes our rocket attack. So I think we annihilated that infantry. Oh, I don't think our rocket guy did anything here. Let's have him spin around here. Okay, we're gonna go after this guy. Okay, you know what? Let's just hit the infantry. Or the anti-tank. Let's hit the anti-tank guys. I could do a point of aim attack, which would rule out what has happened in the past. Alright, we managed to knock them out. Alright, we've got more rocket attacks available. Okay, well, they have no enemy. There's no enemy left, so let's go ahead and try and engage here. Well, there is enemy left. Let's get in here. Okay, so we've got some more guys we could rocket attack here. Let's do a point of aim attack here. So we're going to do one here. We're going to do another one here. Fire point of aim right there. Okay, got an attack. We're going against tanks, I believe. Okay. We've lost more of our anti-tank infantry, which is bad. Okay, more rockets in. Okay. Let's hit the... Oh, well, they're gone already. Let's just tell them to fire point of aim on the bridge. And we'll do the same thing with our napalm here, because this is infantry just going across the bridge. Okay. Let's grab another one of these guys. Okay, let's go ahead and advance with our tanks. I'm probably going to grab another tank platoon here soon. Okay, here comes the napalm. Saturate that bridge. Let's grab our other one. We're going to fire on this bridge here. We're just going to keep these guys locked down. Okay, got artillery strike. I'm just going to go ahead and have them attack kind of roughly where I think that the artillery is. Okay, and then once we get enough, I'm going to call in... We probably will get vision even with this strike, so hopefully we do. Let's have these guys move fast. Okay, I'm not exactly sure where things are. Okay, we now have enough to do a tank platoon, so we'll grab one of these guys and we'll tell them to come across the bridge here. Alright, where are we on the time? We still have plenty of time. We could speed things up a little bit. Do we want a recon unit to come out? To be totally honest with you, I don't want to lose the recon unit. Alright, so we do have some anti-tank units attacking us. We now know where to attack, though. Let's have this guy stop and attack. Okay. We have our F-86 Sabres coming in. Help out our tanks. Okay, let's grab our other tanks and have them support as well. Okay, the rockets weren't quite on target. Okay, they are overrunning us. Interesting. Okay, so they just totally wiped me out. Alright, let's fire. Just drop some napalm in here. I know they're roughly in the area. Napalm does cover quite a bit of area. Alright, so that wasn't good that we... Oh, wow, we lost a lot of tanks, huh? Alright, so that assault didn't really go to plan, but we're going to grab some more tanks and we're going to try again. Matter of fact, let's grab these guys. We'll put them over here, too. Alright. I don't know exactly where the enemy is, but I'm just going to go ahead and light them up. We'll hold off on the rocket attacks for now, but the napalm we can go after. See, we just killed some infantry by laying down some napalm, so we're going to do that more. Let's go ahead and speed things up to normal speed. That way we can get going here. But I think we're going to go pretty hard on the F5 napalm attacks from here on out. We've got a couple tank platoons that are going to be moving here. Okay, so for sure this guy is in here. Okay, they did manage to take out my other tank. So that was artillery that did that. That kind of sucks. I don't know exactly where that is, but we will try and pin him down. So we're going to fire. We're going to hit this part of the woods. Okay, so right now we're winning. We only need 320 points left to defeat the enemy. Done a lot more casualties than they've done to us, although we have taken a significant number of casualties nonetheless. Okay, so we do have some anti-air missiles coming out, so we're going to have to be a little bit more careful, but I have an idea of where we can attack to try and mitigate that. It came from one of these buildings, so we're just going to strike this area with napalm as soon as we get the opportunity. So I'm just going to come in here. We do have 80% of the destruction points, so we must have done casualties with this napalm strike. Let's go ahead and hit them again with napalm. I think it was somewhere around here we're going to hit. And fairly soon I'm going to be able to afford another attacker. So we're just going to hit this area here just to try and saturate the area with napalm. Okay, here comes our napalm strike. We do see some anti-air missiles, but we landed our napalm right on them. Here comes our follow-up napalm. We did get some casualties there. Okay, we got more napalm. We're going to go ahead and hit this building here. Okay, let's go ahead and strike this guy. So it looks like their artillery has come out in the open. Okay, let's go ahead and strike that with our air power. If it's still there. I don't know if it's still going to be there. Let's just go ahead and hit area target. Okay, so we have another F5 here that we can grab. We're going to go ahead and hit napalm. Oh, okay, we must have done enough casualties there. Got a major victory. Not as good as the last time, because we took a lot of casualties this time. So we were still able to get our victory points, but because we had enough losses, they reduced the victory to a major one. So I think the end result is going to be kind of the same for them, but let's just go through. So the battle stopped because the enemy losses of 1505 have exceeded their sustainable losses of 1416. So we actually managed to go past that number, a significant amount. That's just the value of the vehicles we were killing. Our forces got a major victory because our enemy's destruction points of 435, that's how much they inflicted on us, are below the 60% of our sustainable losses, which was 1086. As a consequence, our forces are getting a gain of morale, 1 point. So not 2 points like last time, 1 point. And we lose 1 cohesion. We knew that was going to happen. They lose 1 point of morale, and they also lose 1 cohesion. And one of their infantry battalions has been destroyed. Now, I believe that is down to they took so many losses that unit isn't sustainable anymore. So that's another element of how this game works, is if you, it's not just your morale, it's also how many units in a particular, or how many individual units in an overall unit, in this case a battalion, gets destroyed out of the max. So that's what happened there. So we've done pretty good damage here. Let's see what the end result is going to be on the campaign map. So 1 unit just got destroyed, but we didn't get enough of a victory that we've driven them out. So we didn't get the total victory that drove out the enemy. Instead, we just got the major victory. So it's still going to be a fight here, and you'll note that I can no longer attack here. So that's more or less what's happened with that. In any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.